So what I want to do is now get out of Keynote. Those are my kids. And I want to go to my first data set, which is map. And map is really nice. All you have to do is talk to your IT people, and you can download off the NWEA website. It's very easy to do. I don't know how to do it, but my IT people do. And you can download data. So these are our data, and it's very easy to obtain. I ask my IT guys when the session's over, give me the data. It's very simple. And if you're somewhat competent with Excel, all you can do is just copy and paste multiple sessions in there. It's very, very easy to do. And again, NWEA has really nice reports. You can download. They're very, very useful. But I wanted to actually use my data interactively. So I'm going to stop blobbing on here, and I'm actually going to do some data analysis. So all you have to know how to do this is do something very simple. It's just copy and paste. So I'm just going to copy all my data, and it's a large set, and then I'm going to go into Tinkerplots. And because the program was designed for 4th graders, it's very easy. Every student's data is one card, like a file cabinet. So all I'm going to do now is paste my cases in here. And I have a series of cards. I have 1,656 cards. Every card is a student's map test in a particular session. For example, this student here, I took out all the names, is the fall 2010 reading map test for this student. Okay. So there's lots of them. And then the fun part begins, because I can make nice pictures. I'm going to shut this down here and see if we can all see this. There we go. So this is Tinkerplots. It's a visual program. I don't know if you know, there's no numbers on the screen. There's no calculations, because odds are you really don't need calculations very often. You just want to see trends. Each circle represents one case. So for example, the one I clicked on is a fall 09 language usage map test for this student who happens to be a girl, and so on and so forth. I'm going to color code these because I like Tinkerplots because I can actually view 3 things at any one time. I have my x-axis, my y-axis, and I can also see color as well. So, and my favorite thing to do is actually look at gender. It's one of my curiosities. I like to really look at boys versus girls and see if there are any trends. So I can actually color code these, and pardon the standard convention, but I'm going to make the girls pink, and I'm going to make the boys blue. And this isn't very useful, but it just random there. All these circles just represent cases. And now we can actually start having some fun. And the first thing to do, I think, is look at percentiles. And what Tinkerplots does is it simply goes and starts to categorize them for you. And you can break these bins down. So to the left is 0 to 49th percentile, and to the right is 50th to 99th percentile. And visually, you can see automatically what's going on in your school. You know you have more to the right than left, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. And you can break it down further if you want. Let's go here, for example, and stack it down. And you can start to see immediately that we're doing pretty well. Pretty well. We have a small number of students in the lower percentile and more up above.
Mostly boys.
And yes, now you also start to see various things. You can actually split those up if you want in your boys and girls. And
Wow. Cool.
yeah. It's fun, isn't it, Shoshana? And you'll notice there's no numbers on the screen, but I think I saw you all light up, and so you saw immediately what I saw the first time, which is that we have really good girls. And our boys are more down here. And there's not a number on the screen. It's very easy to explain to a board. Very simple to explain to a group of people. There's no calculations, which is what I really like about Tinkerplots. I call this my macro view. This is the whole school very, very quickly. I'm going to go and break this down even further.
Scott, before you, just to make sure I understand where we're going here, because you said you had a very small school, but we've got 1,700 data points.
Correct.
So help me understand what each data point is.
Sure. In this particular data set, I have 4 different map sessions: Fall '09, Winter 2010, Spring 2010, and Fall 2010.
Right.
And each student took 3 map tests.
Okay, so we're
In each
mixing
session.
content areas,
So it's 260 students times 4 map sessions times 3 map tests per session.
These are all 3 subjects.
All 3 subjects, all 4
Math,
sessions, 260 some odd students. That's why you have so many cards.
okay.
It'll be clear, I think, in a second. But yes, you have to understand that's why you don't, because it's not one button per student. Each student probably has 12, 15 different dots. All right, I'm going to shake this up again. It's probably my favorite part of Tinkerplots. You can tell it was designed for elementary school. And my board wanted to know how we're doing. So the first thing we do is go back to this, and there's your standard. It's not even a bar chart, but it's actually, I like this because it's not only a bar chart, but it's actually, you're looking at individual students as well as bars. And you can see it's not a bell curve, which is fortunate. And we really have what I call most of our students over here. And when I explained this to the board, I said our school really has what I call a long tail down here of low-performing students. Most of our students are up to the right, which is great. And then, of course, my board decided, okay, that's nice stuff. Who are those kids? And the nice thing about Tinkerplots, if we just open it up just a little bit more, is that if you want to, you could actually look at kid by kid. So you get the macro view of the whole school, but you also can look at this 4th grade boy right here. Who is that kid? Oh, that's this kid over here. And you can go through. That's the nice thing about this. You can alternate between the macro view and the micro view, and I'm going to show you more and more of this. And again, you can go and put the gender here if you want to. Sorry. I'm not used to having this little real estate here. And you can look at the histograms again by gender. And you might say, well, yeah, again, there's sort of more boys down here, girls, but if you want to, you could actually find out who that girl is. Now, I deleted the names, but if I had the names on here, I know who that is, and I know when she did that. So again, macro view and micro view. In math, actually, percentile is not really what you usually want to look at. You really want to look at RIT, which is much more useful information. So I could just simply replace this with RIT. And then you see a nice normal distribution, which is what you would expect to see. But again, you can see there's some bottom feeders here and some really high flyers up here. And if you want to know who those kids are, you just click on them. Oh, that's this 6th grade kid. And I know who he is, and I can go, yeah.
Can you do year comparisons?
Absolutely, yeah. Give me 2 more minutes,
All right.
and I'm getting there, but absolutely. Because what I want to do is actually go and show you test session and show progress session by session, which is exactly what I want to do. So let's go back to here. And I'm going to put RIT on my x-axis. I'm going to break it out, stack it down. And this might look fast, but this is very, very easy. And yeah, let's look at test session. And that would be here. Again, I have 4 sessions here because we started map in '09. And I'm just going to move here. And here are my last 4 test sessions. This is fall '09, winter 2010, spring, and fall 2010 here. And I have a really nice picture of my school. Again, from a macro view and a micro view. I can track individual students. Now again, students are multiplied, right? There's more than 1 dot per student. And you can see what map tells you should happen, which is that in general, if I go and show some medians here, these little upside down T's are median. I like to use medians rather than means. I think averages are very, very deceptive. I think a median score is much more useful. And you can see what happens in math, right? They all test in the fall, they improve, and then there's a little bit of a backlash the next fall. It's called summer vacation, and then we move forward again. And of course, in international schools, your kids are churning in and out anyway, so you don't quite know. But there's a really nice view. And you can go and show this very, very simply. So there's your test session right there.